Yeah, mitigation is by no means a silver bullet. And we thought we were doing a pretty good job of fire mitigation. Watching our friends who have lost homes and watching them having to rebuild their lives made us more resolute that we didn't want to go through that ourselves.
Because firefighters have taken fire out of the equation, all these little trees keep growing up, and our trees are overpopulated. Our ponderosas have too much competition, so they don't get the moisture and nutrients they need. So our forests are very unhealthy.
We realized that really the fire behavior was a lot more complex than even what we had anticipated.
Basically, in the days of old, what would happen is fire used to come through here on a pretty regular basis, and there weren't that many trees. So fire naturally thinned the trees and kept a good, what we call stand density, or 40 trees to 60 trees per acre.
We have to imagine each one of these trees possibly engulfed. How do we feel about that? And it really gave us a different perspective, and that's when we started going through and saying we really have to take some drastic measures. A lot of people think fire mitigation is just taking out every other tree and calling it good, but really you need a much more comprehensive plan. You really need to think about all the directions the fire could come from.
Unfortunately, if we put fire down naturally the way it used to come through here, one, it won't happen naturally because we have too many trees, and two, we got too many homes. So it makes it really hard to have a fire come through here and not burn homes. So we thin the trees for forest health. Thinner trees means less competition, means the trees that are left have got more nutrients and more moisture, and they'll grow faster, stronger. We're also limbing the trees up so that if a surface fire comes through here, the lower branches are what we call ladder fuels. Just like the ladder you use at your house, the fire will climb the ladder like you will to get to the roof. We created a fuel break here. And what that is there's a spot here around the house where there aren't any trees. So the fire goes from tree to tree to tree, hits our fuel break, and then has to come back to the ground.
The grasses, which had cured out for this fire, we had 2 to 3 foot grasses that were cured out. That made the difference in which houses were spared.
The sad thing about the Fourmile Canyon Fire is we lost several homes that had been properly mitigated for trees. But unfortunately, the grass being 3-4 feet high, or let's say 2 to 3 feet high, with the amount of wind that we had, we were still getting 10-15 foot flames off of that.
But if you can weed whack down to a few inches, suddenly you've eliminated a lot of those light, flashy fuels. And we've seen houses that were destroyed just because there was grass almost up to the house, and it was enough to set the house on fire. We've also taken a look at our property on Google Earth, which is a really, really useful exercise, because you can kind of imagine and pre-plan what the fire looks like.
So what we're doing here is kind of the same thing that fire used to do before we humans built all these homes in the way. And we're replacing fire with chainsaw work.